Let's talk more about the dairy piece. You mentioned quickly there the fact you're not a fan.
Mm-hmm.
Are you ever consuming dairy at all?
Well, I used to actually, the first edition of Good Fat is Good for Women Menopause had a lot of snacks, butter on cheese, butter on cheese, butter on cheese. And then a couple of years ago, I read a book called The Devil in Milk by an Australian who was explaining A2 milk versus A1 milk. There is absolutely an issue with dairy because of the caseinomorphin content. 2 tablespoons of A1 cow milk is equal to a shot of heroin in an opiate sense, right? So the inflammation that a caseinomorphin can give your body, 2 tablespoons of milk is equal to a shot of heroin. I mean, he literally writes this. So there are different, the whiter the milk, the fresher the milk, what you have is a lot of, or dairy, kefir, yogurt, whatever, goat cheese, you have a lot of protein. If you have aged cheese, the fermentation process eats the protein and the lactose. The lactose isn't really an issue. It's more the proteins. The proteins are inflammatory. So if you're not well, if you have an autoimmune condition, your immune system is overreactive. It's going to see a protein like gluten or dairy or caseinomorphin. It's going to see that as a pathogen. It will react. How does it react? Again, it could be any way, but it will react to that protein thinking it's a virus. So if you're, as you said, depending upon where you are on your health journey, if you still have pain, you still have arthritis, you still have eczema, you still have psoriasis, I would take out dairy. And in some cases, I'll even say to try to stop butter for a week or so. And I've had a couple of people have a really good result from that. And then they heal, and then they can add in the butter.
All right, there's a lot of nuance here I want to make sure we tease out. So butter, obviously, that's on the dairy continuum, but you look at that as a different category than milk and cheese.
There's a tiny bit of protein. So when my family's from the South, I used to love drinking buttermilk. Buttermilk, when you and I used to make butter. So you can take a bunch of heavy cream and whip it like crazy, and the liquid that is separated from the fat is buttermilk. Most of the protein is in that liquid. There's a tiny bit of protein left in the butter. And if we make ghee, we can understand if you put a bunch of sticks of butter in a pan and you heat it up, the lactose and the protein rise to the top and you skim it off. And it's literally like, tiny bit. So it's the dose of the poison, I guess. Most people, that little tiny bit of protein, milk protein, doesn't bother them.
Okay, so again, coming to the hierarchy, ghee would be at the top, less sensitivity issues there.
Right.
And then butter. And then we move into things like cheeses and milk. And there's a lot of nuance there. You mentioned A1 versus A2.
Right.
Fermenting of the cheeses.
Yes.
Animal it came from. Pasteurization. Is it pasteurized? Is it not?
Pasteurized at the whole raw thing that has no effect on the protein content. The only thing that's an issue with dairy is the protein content.
Okay, so let's get into the lower part of that hierarchy where we stand. So A1, is that always something that should be avoided?
If you have pain, I mean, it should be something that you take out in order to try to heal. I mean, the whole point of the elimination diet is you can take out all this stuff. I've talked to so many people who say, I took out this and this and this. I feel so much better. My back pain went away, but I still have no libido, or, something else. So maybe they have to work on, remove something else, or there's some other imbalance going on.
If you enjoyed that clip, you're going to want to head over here and catch a full episode. I'll see you over there.
A person who eats only plants cannot get cholesterol, therefore will not be able to adequately make, especially women, the hormones they need for their cycle, for adolescence, and to address stress. We evolved to eat this food.